Hello and welcome to Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV, and in this episode we're taking a look at this Impul March for our 400th subscriber special. So the K12 Micra was launched in 2002 in Japan. It followed the lines of the MME concept unveiled at the Frankfurt Motor Show back in 2001. And the European market got the K12 Micra at the tail end of 2002. And cars were produced at Nissan's Sunderland factory in the north of England and in Japan. So let's have a look at the March Impul. And the first thing you notice is that it seems to have been inspired by Gran Turismo. This is how the March left Impul for specially selected Nissan dealers in Japan. The March came in three trim specs: Impul, Calsonic, which is this one, and Compressor, which lost the Calsonic and Impul graphics, but gained a supercharger on the CR12DE engine. So starting from the front, the March still retains the cute K12 front end that was featured on this generation of Micra, but it adds it up with extra additions with the graphics, starting with the Calsonic Impul, the racing number, the engine cut-off switch. Moving down, you have the mesh style grille, which is an Impul grille. European Micras had a sort of plastic grille. Moving to the bumpers, we've got these air dams here, and this sucks air directly into the engine bay through here. Moving on to the side, the graphics continue with the shopping listed down the door and wing, the Calsonic Impul graphics again, the racing number, JDM style manga graphics, and the blue is broken up with a sort of silver tint on the side windows and these white alloy wheels, rally style alloy wheels. Moving around to the rear is where the car's party piece is, with this huge Impul spoiler. This seems to be quite a common modification on Micras in the Micra's owners clubs, that people actually seek out these Impul spoilers and try to make a replica. So we've got Calsonic on the top of the spoiler, we've got Impul here, Wackos and NGK spark plugs. Again, we've got that silver tint of rear windscreen. Again, a racing number. We've got the JDM style number plate recess. And moving down, again more graphics for Mobile 1, wheel drive, Bridgestone. Got a sporty little diffuser here. And we have here, this is the Impul exhaust system, which gives it a nice little note when driving. So externally, the Impul March is identical to a European spec Micra, apart from two things. Firstly, the door handles are different. You wouldn't get a lock on this door handle, and also the wing mirrors are different as well. The wing mirrors found on European Micras are similar to the Renault Clio and Renault Megane, as part of the partnership that Renault had, that you would have. We were using Renault Clio and Renault Megane style mirrors. Under the bonnet of the Impul you have the 1.2 CR12DE engine, producing roughly about 79 brake horsepower and 121 Newton meters of torque. The only sort of differences compared to a European spec Micra is this has an Impul ECU. Other features of note are the strut brace, which is a Cusco strut brace. You have this pod filter here instead of the airbox, but I believe you could get an Impul panel filter for this car as well. Suspension wise, this car has been changed to run on BC Racing coilovers. But just as we normally do on the engine bay, we'll just go over where to check for your relevant fluids. So we have the windscreen washer fluid here, we have the brake fluid here, we have the topping up the oil here, and we also have the dipstick down here on the engine bay, and the battery is here. And as we mentioned, about the cold air intake system coming through from the bumper. It comes up into here and straight into here. And the reason why this car sits on BC Racing coilovers is because the owner of the car couldn't actually get in and out of his parking area at home, because when the car arrived it was just too low and it was catching on the ramp going into the parking area. So it has been raised very slightly. So in the inside of the K12 Impul, it's very, very familiar to anybody that's owned or driven a K12 Micra. The only exceptions being these seats here. These are from a JDM version called 12SR. This would be known in the UK as a 160SR. This would be the Japanese equivalent. Just going down from the doors, it's a very, very basic and easy door. You've got your door handle here, your lock switch, your window cutout, your central locking buttons, and your electric windows. You do have a door pocket here. And as I mentioned, it's a very, very familiar place to be in, with the exception that on the GDM versions is that the indicators are on this side of the car, while the European versions will have it on the other side. So they've just switched the wipers and indicators around. We also, another difference on the GDM version is that you get the speedometer in kilometres an hour and just a fuel gauge, and that is all you get. We believe that the rev counter here was a later add-on. It's very, 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 very familiar. We've got a uprated stereo system here, and we've got our 12 volt to the left, and we've got our heating controls, the circulation, heated rear window, and air conditioning. We've also got down below, we've got a little coin tray and a set of cup holders and an aftermarket gear lever. And it's just standard affair handbrake that would came with any K12 Micra. And we also gain a passenger airbag and the driver's airbag as well. When this car came to the UK, it had an aftermarket steering wheel which didn't particularly look very nice, so it's been swapped out for an airbagged steering wheel. And looking into the rear, this would be the original seat trim and rear bench that came with the car, but I believe the owner is on the lookout for a set of a rear bench from a 12SR where possible. So if you have a rear bench from a 12SR that matches the front seats, then let us know in the comments section below. Another little thing here, we've got the lovely little Japanese stickers here, which we don't know what they mean, but could be just like a service record, which I think it is actually. It's just a little service record. We've got a high power control unit, which we can't understand because it's written in Japanese. But it's great to see these little touches on this car. And just a little bit of history on this car. We believe the Impul started life in Japan before ending up in Florida. Then after Florida, this car ended up in Ireland, where the current owner bought it in 2021 and imported it over to Scotland. For many people who are not in the know, they'll just assume that this is just a stickered up Nissan Micra. But to any Nissan enthusiast or a JDM enthusiast, they'll know that this car is something different. The amount of people that come over to this car and want to know what it is and have a look at it at any of the car shows that this goes to proved to be very popular. Even when we're out on the road, it just turns heads. People have to take a second look as this little car passes them, and people maybe in petrol stations want to know what it is. So here we go. This is a little rare JDM spec nugget that's found its way into the UK, and I'd just like to thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV, and we'll catch you in a future video very, very soon. Thank you. Well played.